Hey moms, this is Gail Anderson. This is Mentoring Moments for Moms this morning. Thanks for hopping on and joining us. Yes, we're talking about the love-hate relationship with schedules. Last week we talked about home management and some hints and getting through laundry and cleaning and all those different aspects of home management. But how many of you love schedules? You love to have things planned out. Let me hear from you. I want to hear some of you schedule people who really enjoy that. You know, this morning I did have a plan, I did have a list, and it kind of got hijacked. Even though I don't have any children living in my home, even for me, I don't have complete control of my time all the time. So, do you have good control of your time? Sometimes what helps us do that is having a schedule. So there is always that love-hate relationship between schedules. Do I want to schedule? Me, I live by my iCloud calendar. It's color coordinated, helps me stay on track. Fantastic. I struggle with the schedule more than anything. I know some people just don't like to be tied down to a schedule. But we're going to talk about some different options today, ways you can make it work for you, ways you can be a little more flexible with it. So if you like what we're talking about today, please tap on your screen, give me some hearts, and if you want to share this broadcast, go ahead and swipe to the right and you can share with your friends. And thanks everybody for joining. Hi Lisa, hi Courtney, hi, I think it's Susie. Good to see all of you today. And there's Taryn this morning. I know I'm hitting you at lunchtime, probably not the best time, but it's okay. So if you see some benefits from schedules, hopefully you can gather some ideas today on how to actually plan that out and make it work for you. What aspect of planning helps you to get things done? Just having one day where you say you know you're going to work on the house? Here's somebody, I make a schedule, but I have a hard time sticking to it. I want to learn how to stick to it. It is hard. It is hard. You got to have it in front of your face all the time. Sometimes you have to put in one of those quiet reminders on your phone to come up at a certain time every day, especially if you're trying to do something that isn't normally calling for your attention, like spending time with your kids. So you don't have to be totally organized. You don't have to be totally planned out. But you know, if you have some kind of a framework, some kind of a schedule to work within, it does help you make sure that the priority things are covered. I use reminders. I make a list every morning. Awesome. And I like the reminders on the phone. You can actually go in and set reminders to remind you on a place or actually on a day. And when you get to that locale, the reminder will come up. Or when you get to that time of the day, it will come up. And it just goes on your screen, doesn't make any noise. So that's another great way instead of using alarms or timers. So if you want more time in your schedule, you are going to have to probably eliminate some things, set some priorities, because I was telling you last week, we all have the same amount of time. Now, I am giving you a link today when I put this up on YouTube. There will be some links to a master schedule and even a sample schedule for myself. I meant to have that with me, and here I am outside and I don't have the schedules to show you, but it's just a basic schedule, Monday to Sunday to Saturday, and it gives you all the time slots where you can plan in blocks of time for things. So that's really the first thing that we do with a schedule, is planning ahead of time. Yeah, well, if I'm going to talk to you about it, I have to give you some tools to use so you can have this. I'll also have some household planning sheets that will help you in each of the different areas of home management. Just some little hints, little things. You know, if you get one good hint in each area of home management, it is worth it to me to put all those reminders up so that you've got some stuff to look at. So plan your week ahead of time. At least by Sunday, start looking at what your week looks like. And if you've got a calendar already, then you've got some appointments. You may have some classes or camps your kids are going to. So you have some things that have to go in the schedule already. So then you're going to take the rest of the time and plan in the things that need done. And I always say that you should group activities together. I find that most helpful. Some people don't. But have a time that you're doing laundry and block that off. A certain time during the day or a certain day of the week. I like to do all my errands together and set them by the door and have a little errand bag so all my returns, my coupons, everything's ready. And when I get to that day that I'm going to run errands, I just pick up the bag and I go. Everything's ready for me. You've got regular times with kids where you're working on getting them ready for an activity, where you're doing meals. So make sure, moms, as you're planning out your schedule, that you're leaving lots of flex time, because there is. Things just happen with kids. Things happen in everybody's life. It's not just having kids. There's all kinds of things that come up. And then just be reasonable. I mean, if you put an hour in your schedule to do your weekly housework, is that reasonable? Do you think you can really do everything that you want to get done within that hour? You got to be reasonable, and you got to have some flex time. So, just look at your schedule. Look at your summer. Have you accomplished some of the things you wanted to do? If you have some big things you wanted to do, maybe get your closets clean, clean out your garage, have a garage sale. If you have any big goals for the summer, maybe having several trips out of town with your kids or vacations, then you're really going to need to work on those things on a weekly basis. So have some time one day during the week where you've got an hour or two where the kids are taken care of, where you can devote some time to, say, that big project, whatever it is you're planning for. My husband and I are planning for a trip to Paris in September. My sister found this crazy airline deal and jumped on it, and we basically had flights for, you're paying for taxes and fuel and $1 for the flight. So we are planning every Sunday night. That is our time to plan for Paris. Now, I work on the French language several days a week. I always want to up my language. But as far as what we're going to do, what tours we're going to take, how we're going to spend our time, what places we want to go eat. So every Sunday night is our time to do that. Otherwise, it would not get done. So I've got to have a time every week where I can touch base with that project. And if it's cleaning out closets, okay, an hour every Monday afternoon during nap time, work on one closet, or work for 30 minutes and set an alarm so you stop at that point. What's cool about setting an alarm to work on a certain thing is, for me, the alarm promises me that I'm only going to have to work for 30 minutes. But once I get into it, then I usually want to work on it longer. So I might work on it for 45 minutes or an hour and get to a certain point. And wow, don't you feel good when you've accomplished something, when you've gotten something towards your goal accomplished? That is awesome. Okay, love the timer. Yeah, I use it for my kids all the time. Okay, let's see if we can get the house picked up in 15 minutes. Let's work against the timer. We did it in children's church. Let's do cleanup and let's beat the clock. That was always our little game. So some other thoughts on schedules. Do not, I'm praying about homeschooling, so how did you stay focused for school hours? Shut everything else off. I didn't really plan on doing laundry, or if I did, I actually did it during recess time, would start it before school started, and then do it during recess time, which I gave the kids every day. We had our phones shut off. We had other activities not going on. I just didn't let things bother me. So it's all a matter of priorities. And yes, there are emergencies, but there are ways people can still get a hold of you. What were your homeschool hours? Pretty much 8 to noon. Now, if you're starting with young kids like you are, Taryn, I taught first grade. I don't know why I'm getting off here on homeschooling, but just let me say a few things. I taught first grade in a Christian school, and when I sat down and looked at how much time we were spending at seat work, it was about an hour and a half. So you should easily be able to get in the young grades all of your schooling done in the morning hours with a recess break. And then after lunch, there's some homework, there's other activities, there's all kinds of stuff. So check out KirbyAnderson.com, find our blogs on homeschooling. There's probably 3 or 4 that I've written. And homeschooling is a lot different today, so I am not an expert on today's homeschooling, but there are ways you can block out time in your schedule and not be interrupted. We live by the twins' schedule. When do you break that schedule? I set my twins' own schedule. Actually, from before they were born, until later on. I just pretty much set the schedule for them. And a lot of that I got from reading the book, My First 300 Babies, which gave me the confidence that I could decide as a mom what was best for my baby. I knew in general about when they needed to eat, about how much sleep they needed, and I made that schedule work. Now with 2 of them, I did have to do some forcing. And definitely by the time they were 6 weeks old, I was forcing them into a schedule together. I think it was Rebecca that never wanted to go to sleep when it was time, but they both laid down in bed. My best friend just had number 3 and 4 today. Oh my gosh, those are great sizes of babies. Wow, fantastic. So basically Rebecca would lay in bed while Rachel was falling asleep, and she would fall asleep. And once you are putting them in that schedule and expecting them to do that and telling them, okay, it's sleep time now, then that's what we did. And it worked quite well. So we can talk about that later, but don't let your schedule totally control you. We don't have a problem that their schedule is set, but we miss a lot of family things because of it. You know what? It's a choice. Some nights, family things will be more important and you'll need to just go with the flow. But there should be some kind of give and take to where there are occasions where they flow with your schedule and then go to bed at a little bit later hour, and sometimes where you're giving in too, like coming home earlier instead of staying out till 10:30. So a little bit of give and take, and you shouldn't let the schedule control you, but have flexibility within it. And I always say, what are you characterized with by the schedule? With kids, you want them on schedule a lot of the time, but you can break from schedule and then you go back to the schedule. It's the same thing we do as moms. Okay, I was supposed to clean house for 2 hours today and there were certain emergency things that came up. Well, I'm gonna have to flex. I'm gonna have to plan a time a couple days from now. Or I might do a lesser job cleaning and let some things go for an extra week. You've got to let it flex for you. The schedule should serve you. You shouldn't be subservient to it. And then a thing that I think is really important is at the end of every day, measure how you did. Look back at your day. What were the good points? What were the bad points? What were the great decisions you made? What were the ones that were not so great? What are the times that you totally reacted when you wish you would have stopped, thought, and responded with your kids, your family, the clerk at the grocery store? And it's not to make you feel bad about those things. The object is to learn from them. And you know, if you stop and look at your day, then you have a chance to make tomorrow different. You also have a chance to forgive yourself and move past it. But if you want things to be different, if you want to make changes, then you've got to look at your day and analyze how it went and think, okay, how could I have done better? So that next time you're prepared to do better. You're prepared to flex better with the schedule. You're prepared to handle the situation better. You're prepared to stop in the middle of what you were doing and sit down and spend that 10 minutes with your little one because they needed you. It was really cool. A friend of mine had a Facebook post this week, and the beginning sentence was something like, "Today was not a banner day. It was a horrible day. But when I look back, these are the things that I did that were right today." And she listed a huge ton of things she did. Did different cooking projects with each of her girls, took them to classes, spent time doing this and that. She did have a good day. So reflecting on your day is not just reflecting on the bad, it's also reflecting on the good. And you can celebrate. Hey Lori, good to see you today. It's just a joy to have a framework to go from, but to be able to flex with it when you need to. And to be able to look at how you're doing and say, I know, things aren't perfect here. I have not been the 100% perfect mother. I never was either, ladies. But I can look at it, I can see the good I'm doing, I can see that I'm getting better every single day. And that as motherhood, as a mom, I am going to kill it. I am going to be a great mom because every day I am making those decisions. What would a great mom do? Yes, you'll have to catch the replay, sorry. I'm doing this at kind of a crazy time, but this is what worked out for me today. So just be encouraged, moms. You are doing things right. Even if you feel down about some of the decisions you've made, you are doing right. And every moment that you are sowing into your children and into your family is valuable and will reap rewards for years to come. You don't see it now, but you will see it in the future. So I do want to remind you that all of these scopes are on my YouTube channel. You can search it as Mentoring Moments for Moms. You can search for my name, Gail Anderson, or you can catch the link in the Periscope profile. We also vlog 3 times a week, my husband and I, on marriage, parenting, personal development, health, all kinds of stuff like that. And we've been blogging for a long time. Thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate being able to share with all of you. It does my heart good. So thank you, ladies. Have an awesome day, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, one more reminder. I am interviewing my daughter, Rachel, this week. I had so much fun interviewing Rebecca that I do want to have a chance to have all my different kids come onto my Periscopes for different topics. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Rachel will probably be talking about just some of the things that she loved about being raised in our family. Some of the things we did, probably some things I haven't even thought about. So it'll be awesome. She's coming, no, I'll be over at her house about 10 o'clock on Thursday. So hopefully, shortly after 10, you will see us on Periscope. Until then, do a great job being a mom. Love all you guys. Bye-bye.